My name is Emily, and I am the Interpretive Program Manager for Washington State Parks. What the heck does that mean? Well, basically, I have the opportunity with supporting and working with talented interpretive rangers all across the state. These are folks that you see when you go to a park, and they might teach you about a particular thing. They take you on a walk, they teach you about stars, they do a junior ranger program. And then I also have the opportunity to work with folks who are creating exhibits so you can read about things that have happened that are significant in our parks, as well as events that happen where we celebrate different cultures that are here in Washington. So it's a pretty big job, but a really fun one.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Lang, and I am an interpretive specialist for Washington State Parks. You can also call me an interpretive ranger. I spend a lot of time out in our parks giving in-person programs, either walking tours or junior ranger programs with kids. I also spend a decent amount of time in my office creating signs and researching our parks, the history, the plants, the animals, also that I can use that information to help connect our park visitors to the park resources, teach them how to be better stewards, and help us to take care of our parks together.
Hey Girl Scouts, I'm Ranger Jen. I am a park ranger on Whidbey Island. I cover 7 different parks. I coming to you from Fort Casey, and behind me you'll see both Eby's Landing and Fort Eby State Parks as well. I am an interpretive ranger, which means basically I am the teacher ranger for the park. Or as one of my colleagues said, we're the park story keepers, which I really love that description because we do keep the stories of the park and share them as much as possible with visitors. So I get to go out every day. I lead hikes. I do low tide walks and go exploring with kids and Kids at Heart. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to reach people and spend time outdoors in nature, which is something I've always loved.
Hi, I'm Issa. I'm the interpretive specialist too for the Cascade Foothills area for Washington State Parks. And what my job is I teach people about our parks, teach people about all the nature inside those parks, and get them to learn by doing really cool games, activities, crafts, fun things like that.
Hi Girl Scouts, my name is Morgan and I'm a park ranger for Washington State Parks. What my job entails, I make sure that park visitors and campers are following the park rules and camp rules. Another thing I also do is I help enforce Discover Pass violations, making sure that Discover Passes are up to date and that everyone's got one when they come visit our parks. Another thing I do, I help supervise park staff, and I also help with maintenance, so that can entail to groundskeeping, to help clean restrooms and other buildings, making sure they're all maintained.
Hi, Girl Scouts. I'm Amber Brooks, and I am an Interpretive Specialist 3 with Washington State Parks. As part of my job, I get to lead and participate in events and programs that help connect members of diverse communities to the outdoors and nature. That can include park visitors, as well as students of all ages, and of course, Girl Scout troops.
Now, I was a brownie way back in the day, and that has influenced me in several different ways. And there are memories that I have to this day. Of course, it wouldn't be Girl Scouts without cookies, and I do remember my mom being Cookie Mom one year and having towers and towers of cases of cookies in our living room that all the girls in my troop and I sold. I remember going to overnight camp, and I was the tick queen. I was the only Girl Scout in my troop to be covered in ticks, and including one that got embedded, so that was a little scary. But I think that taught me that I can handle anything. If I can handle being covered in ticks and survive it, I can survive anything.
I also got to go to summer camp thanks to Girl Scout cookie sales, where I learned about the outdoors, camping, canoeing, and horses. And I wouldn't have had that opportunity if it hadn't been for my Girl Scout cookie sales.
Now, I used to be a Girl Scout when I was really little. I was a daisy and a brownie. And my favorite thing that I remember from being a Girl Scout was getting to go to Girl Scout camp which was like a week-long camp where we spent time learning about what it means to be a Girl Scout, learning life skills, learning about nature, and doing really fun activities and crafts and games. So that was really important to me because up until this point, I didn't really have a deep care for nature yet. And through that camp, I really learned about why nature is so important, and it kind of instilled that love in me. And it also led me to see that education can be really fun through those games and activities and crafts. It doesn't have to be just boring lectures, right?
I grew up in Washington, born and raised. I was a Girl Scout in my younger times. I sold tons of Girl Scout cookies. I went to many day camps. I earned lots of badges. I still have them to this day. It's a good memorabilia to look back at in my youth. The most memorable time I had as a Girl Scout, was making tons of friends along the way. I still to this day keep in touch with some of the girls I was in the group with. Some we've unfortunately lost touch, but making the friends that I have and still have them to this day means the world.
So when I was growing up, I was a Girl Scout. I was a Daisy, Brownie, and Junior. And throughout my experience, I just remember trying a bunch of different things, right? Badges in all different sorts of categories.
I was lucky enough to be a Girl Scout where I grew up in Minnesota from the age of 5 until I was in 8th grade. So Girl Scouts did a lot for me. I went to day camp. I sold a lot of Girl Scout cookies. I earned a number of badges. And in fact, in 8th grade, my Girl Scout troop actually went to Boston, Massachusetts, which was a pretty cool trip to be able to fund partially from money that we made selling Girl Scout cookies.
I started as a Girl Scout in Daisies and participated until juniors. And a lot of the values that I learned as a Girl Scout stay with me today and really have an impact on my job. Watching my mom, who was my troop leader in Daisies and Brownies, put together activities and lead meetings taught me leadership skills as well as sparked my interest in teaching and leading others. Also, as a Girl Scout, I learned to think about myself as part of a community, not just a human community, but also as part of nature, kind of a natural community, because we are all part of nature. And those are core values and principles that I use in my job as an interpretive specialist today.
Being a Girl Scout definitely helped get me the confidence to do this job because I love the outdoors. As a child, you could not keep me inside. Whether it was raining, snowing, hail, I would be outside. Even to this day, I would definitely prefer the sunshine over anything else, but bad weather, I'm all outdoors.
So I think how Girl Scouts really helped me the most, especially in my career, is just learning to be open to new ideas and having the courage to try new things. I find that is especially important in my work as an interpretive ranger because there's just always so many new opportunities. And I'm always trying things that I never thought I would do before. So just remaining open and having the courage to try new things is what Girl Scouts really instilled in me.
So in a way, being a Girl Scout led me to where I am today with Washington State Parks because it instilled that love for nature in me and it allowed me to see that there are really fun ways to learn things and especially learn about our environment and our place in it. So without being a Girl Scout, I really wouldn't have this career that I have today.
The other thing that really influenced me is we took a trip to this thing called Festival of Nations that goes on, or at least it did when I was a kid in Minnesota. And it was a gathering of all kinds of different cultures, and they would have their foods, traditional foods on display for you to come and order and eat. They would have traditional dances and music and singing, and you got to experience all these different cultures. And just the beauty of and diversity of that just really has always been a part of me and why I love being an interpretive ranger, because our job is to connect people to the places where we work. And we want everyone to be connected to this wonderful resource that we have here in Washington. And same to other interpretive rangers and rangers in general all across the country in national parks and other state parks and county parks and everything. We just really want people of all backgrounds to feel welcome and included in our parks, and that was instilled in me on that trip during Girl Scouts.
When I think about the impact of what Girl Scouts has done for me today in this work, there is no doubt I would not be a state park ranger without Girl Scouts. My family does not like to camp. I've never slept in a tent with my sister. And in fact, the first time she ever visited a national park was when I worked at one. So when I think about that foundation of love of the outdoors and camping, it is definitely from Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts is where I slept in a tent for the first time at day camp. I actually was a day camp counselor when I was 16, and it really has instilled in me a love of nature, a love of the stories that are here.
I am so excited that you guys are interested in learning more about parks, and I hope that I get to see you out during Girl Scouts Love State Parks.
I hope to see you girls soon. Have a good rest of your day.
So I'm delighted that you're interested in learning more about state parks as part of this event, and I hope you have a really fantastic celebration exploring.
So that's kind of my take on parks and why I love them and how Girl Scouts influenced me. So can't wait to see y'all out here at Fort Casey and Fort Eby on Girl Scouts Love State Parks Day. Thanks, y'all. Bye.